This is the Red All Over reaction to Barnsley's impressive 4-2 win against Wycombe and previewing the Reds' massive, massive game against Bolton on Tuesday. Let's get stuck into it. So, Al, you were there on, yesterday actually. You were there yesterday. A bit of a almost a bit of a strange game for me. Obviously, two really poor and soft goals to concede. But again, we've come from behind to pick up points, which I think puts us on 22 points. We've recovered from losing positions this season, and the first time since Peterborough away in 2003 that we've come from behind twice in a league game to win.
It's becoming a norm, isn't it? It's easy peasy for Reds now coming from behind, isn't it? 4-2 yesterday, double Andy's 2-1, so that was a surprise.
That was the best part.
Surprised, to be honest, yesterday at ground where Cadden wasn't starting and no McAtee squad due to Cadden illness and McAtee with a back injury. O'Keefe got a start, and Cosgrove, which we mentioned on his other show, didn't we? Is starting with Cosgrove or McAtee. Poor goal to concede. First one, quick throw in. We didn't set up for it. Earl didn't get a foot on it, and it was an easy goal for him. We come back into it. I mean, it was a poor first half, to be honest, by us, but we got back into it. We had a good goal from Lucas' free kick and Cosgrove header. We're at our end. All to play for the second half. I thought we were going in 1-0 down and it was going to be tough. Then again, second half, they get another cheap goal, really. Earl trying to shield it out for a goal kick, and he hooks his leg round and keeps it in, and a tap in again for Wycombe Wanderers. And you're thinking, oh no, it's going to be one of them days, 2-1 opposite way. And then what happens? I thought it were best after they scored. It were best 35 minutes that we've had all season. We played them up park, and then to get to equaliser, 822 Reds there to see Donovan Pines to get his opening goal for Reds. Wow, immense that one. And you noticed nobody celebrated with him. He run down and nobody got round him. We wanted to get on with game. So we got 2 goals from 2 set pieces. And then we ended up O'Keefe from Jordan Williams' assist. And that took us 3-2 in front. And then 822 Reds were there with Wycombe fans to see the quickest sending off in history. 6 minutes. Unbelievable that. I didn't see it. I didn't know it was a red card. Where we were sat, I'm seeing him show a red card, and I thought, and then next minute there's a throw in, and I'm thinking, how can he be sent off? There's no free kick. But I say, I've looked it back, and it was off pitch, and he kicked him at back of legs. And then Grant comes on as sub and gets his first goal as well. And who assisted? Jordan Williams yet again. He's back to his best in that position, and we've been missing him all season. So a great victory, and what can you say? We're resilient, we're gritty, we're determined, and a never say die attitude from the Reds. Credit to Neil Collins.
It seems like we've really turned the corner with that this season, Craig. Obviously, from being over 2 years since we come from behind to win, and then we've done it. It seems almost the regular occurrence now of we go 1 behind, and then we turn it around and win. As good as that is, I'm not a big fan of it. I would rather us set off on the front foot, get in front, and then if someone picked us back, we go back in front again, rather, because to me, it's not sustainable. And there's going to be a point where it's going to be a cheap team as well, a side that we'd expect to win, and we'll go 1 behind and we'll struggle to get back in front. But great to lads, especially for yesterday, for going them back in 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to seeing us go 1-0 behind and then every head dropping and us thinking, right, best we're going to get is a draw because we know we can't score enough goals to come back and win. But now it's this season. I mean, Neil Collins has gone fired up. as soon as we can see the goal, first thing we're thinking is, right, how are we going to get back into this? You know, it's been amazing, to be quite honest, because you look at your likes of Boltons and your Pompies, and you see them go 1-0 down, and you're just like, oh, not be long, they'll be back in front. And you know, and now we can say that about our team. It's nice to know that we're not done and finished as soon as we go behind. But yeah, this squad is something special this season. I mean, we're doing absolutely brilliantly. Like 2 sloppy goals conceded. Don't get me wrong. If we can cut them out, then we're up there for a reason. For me, I think that was Corey O'Keefe's best game of the season this season. He seemed to enjoy being a bad man. You know, their fans really getting under his skin, and I think he enjoyed it. Herbie Kane, for me, absolutely dominated that midfield. He were on another level compared to any of their players. I mean, he were absolutely brilliant, scintillating. Pines getting his first goal, you know. Must have given him loads. I did feel a bit sorry that he was running back on his own and nobody was like congratulating him. But obviously, I hope he gets like what we just wanted to get back in front. So, and Conor Grant as well getting his first goal for the Reds. You know, fine finish that roof of the net near post. I mean, I didn't even know it'd gone in. I thought it side netted, and you know, it creeps right corner sometimes. So I had to double check. But yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. But getting that equaliser just before half time, I think, really set the stall out for what his team talk were going to be. You know, going to be that's one. Nah, you know, push on. You know, so it was really easy team talk for him at half time after just scoring just prior. But the red card, I saw it and I thought, what's he kicked him for? Now, he has got him with the arm a little bit, O'Keefe. You know, I'm not going to come in and say he did nothing wrong. He did lead with the arm, but you don't kick him for that. You know what I mean? That stuff just happens in a game. That guy should really have a look at his priorities and think he just cost his team, because if they had any chance of getting back in that game, it wasn't going to be with 10 men. It needed all 11 of them. So, but hey, that's what happened. We completely dominated from there on. They actually had a few chances towards end, but I think that was just us being a little bit lackadaisical, thinking result were already over the line, which it was. So
Yeah, it's there's a couple of moments in that game, Andy, that I thought were weird. Obviously, the sending off being one, and a couple of penalty shouts for us, which I think the one on O'Keefe, I've seen it back. I think he just poked the ball just before contact. The one with Cosgrove, I'm great on the side of it probably wore a pen. What's your thoughts on them two? Because obviously the Cosgrove one, cross comes in, he gets manhandled to the floor, and then the Corey O'Keefe one tries to beat his man on the outside, and I think he just gets a leg in before he trips him.
I think their defender on Cosgrove thought we were playing with an oval ball. You're not supposed to tackle by putting somebody to the ground like that. It's what I mean. How many times did refs stop the game, you know, for corners and what have you? And we're talking to players about manhandling each other. Stop talking to them. Start waving cards about. Start giving penalties when it comes over. When somebody gets manhandled, it's a penalty. I don't know about the O'Keefe thing. I thought it were a penalty. I'm a Barnsley fan, so I'm going to be biased. It was a stonewall penalty. None of this. Oh, I think he might have got none of that crap. He never touched it.
No, I don't think he did get the ball.
He put him down. It were a penalty.
Josh, he didn't. It was straight in front of us. Kate
It
will
looks-
agree with
Tell him how.
From angle I've seen, ball's going this way, and then it goes that way.
Angle
Tell
at
him
the corner
how.
where we were at front, it would apparently took him out. There were no doubt about it, but we don't get penalties, do we?
On the replay, I've seen ball changes direction, and it's either O'Keefe
You're a
kicked it out,
naysayer. You're
but
a
I don't think he
naysayer.
did.
Naysayer. You're a wrong un. You're a wrong un. I'm going to get
Looking
you
for
a
them
t-shirt.
roasting to glass with you too.
You're a
I'm
wrong
here
un.
to be impartial.
Our mate Reece Pearce was there, and he said Stonewall penalty. He took
I'll
him.
be honest, I've listened to some of Reese's opinions, and if he says penalty, I'm saying not penalty.
Don't start on him. Don't start on him. So that's 2 penalties. So we wouldn't have gone behind that. 2 penalties. Lovely free kick from Connell. Lovely free kick. Undecided bar. You're thinking, oh, flipping it. But you got to give Sam his due. They've got some big players there. He put his centre about. He weren't dollying about saying, "This ball going to come to me? Am I going to get..." He put his head there. He got stuck in to get it, headed it in. What a goal. Great goal. We had loads and loads of possession. And as Craig said, Corey O'Keefe had a great game, and you know, most players let their heads go down if they get booed by their own fans. They don't get their heads down if they get booed by the opposition. They love it. Every player loves being booed, so it were a good thing that they started booing him. A bit ironic. I know, he might have had his arm up or whatever, but there's something funny about football when a player gets booed for being kicked. Player gets sent off for kicking him, but let's boo the player that got kicked. There's something funny about all that. I don't know. That's all a bit strange. And you've got to say, the 2-1 double club now, not only have we got the 2-1 club, we've got the 2-1 double club 4-2. Not only do we do it once, again, the 2-1, we do it twice a game now.
No. You were wrong.
Double club.
You can't
It
claim that
wasn't
one.
2-1. No double club. You were wrong. It was 4-2, not 2-1. I'm not having it. You can't be right and be wrong at the same time. You're either wrong or you're right. You prove that to me plenty of times.
It's like Andy going to the bar and asking for a double, isn't it?
All right, Craig. It's Sunday morning, Craig. Don't take on so. It's not that big a thing.
Hey, it's first chance
No, get
I've
into
had
him,
since
Craig. Get
all
into him. Sunday morning or not.
All time I've had it.
What score did you say, Craig?
3-1. So I wasn't too far off.
Oh, so you
We
were
both said
closer
3-1,
then.
didn't we, Craig?
You were close then. 3-1. Wrong is what you were, Craig.
Yeah,
Wrong. You went to
yeah.
not double club, Craig. Wrong. Never mind. It'll be all right. And let's look at that. Flip it. What can you say? Conor Grant comes on. I'm glad Conor Grant come on because they needed to. I thought Luke O'Connell were coming close to getting booked. There were one moment in that second half where I thought he was going to get booked, and I think that means he misses a game. I think so. It made sense to bring it. My first thought, well, why are we bringing him off? But it was a good thing to bring him off. And Conor Grant did what he should do. Don't tickle it, lash it. So I could just see all them Barnsley fans with Alan just shouting, "Have it!" when he lashed that in. Because what a go! Smacked it one. No tickling about. I'll see if I can place it. Like you said, Craig, everybody, it's hit back at net before everybody's thinking, where's ball gone? It's hit back at net. So well done to Conor Grant. A good debut. I thought, when we first started, I thought, well, McAtee's hurt his back. We've got Cadden, who's been, really good on the left, whipping crosses in. A1 Sinks got, we're ill. And, you're thinking, well, we got Sam Cosgrove up there. It's not, we could have done with him being there to whip him in, but Corey O'Keefe played great at left wing back. I was surprised. I thought it might have been Jordan Williams.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad it were Aaron because I thought he had an outstanding game and we dominated it. The only thing we're at 4-2, and we had loads of passes, but we started to pass ourselves into lethargy a little bit. They're at 4-2, we've won game, let's just pass it about. And they had a couple of chances late on. We gifted ball away by overpassing it instead of going for a fifth. We overpassed it a bit, and they had a couple of chances. With their goals, you're right, they're sloppy goals. We weren't set up right, as Al says, for the first, their first goal. The second goal, virtually every defender in the league would try and let that ball go out, shield that ball out of play. And you've got to give McCleary his due. He did well to get his foot in and get it across. But, one of them things, and sadly poked it in. So I'm not, Josh Earl has been outstanding since we signed him. So I think if anybody can have a free pass for that, it's him. It's just one of them things. Well played by McCleary rather than awful. It wasn't an awful mistake. It was just what most people would do. Shame. But, one of them, you just think, oh, flipping it, that's 2-1.
We're just getting mistakes out of the way for next game. That's all it is.
Well, and that's
it is that, but Earl ended up, it was his pass when he spun, it was a bad ball he got from defence. He spun, took two of their players out, and then put ball over for Cosgrove at goal.
Yeah.
So
his passing from defence has been impeccable. Not just that, but being able to take on a man as well. I've seen a striker like closing him down and he's just like whoop ting gone. And the striker's like, what happened there? He's really good with the ball at his feet and his passing. He's really fast becoming like a really good player.
And I think, as one of you said, Herbie Kane controlled that game where they were playing further forward in midfield or when he dropped back into the central midfield, and then went back up when Russell came on. It were just outstanding. He hardly put a foot wrong. A couple of loose passes, I said later on, but generally he were absolutely outstanding. Just ran it. If out, opposition, you don't want him playing against you. He was just superb. So
I watched Eiffel about this morning, and when we scored that goal, when Cosgrove scored it, Herbie Kane goes up, and Herbie Kane he's celebrating and putting his hand on Cosgrove's throat. So I thought that was funny.
Good celebration there. I think you made a good point there, Andy. Of obviously when Earl tries to shield the ball out for that second goal, it's one of them where if it don't come off, it's like, oh, you should have cleared it and got relined. But if it doesn't, it's not even a talking point of like, oh, we just retained possession, and it is just one of those things of it is good work by McCleary, but when it doesn't come off the way in which Earl wants it to come off, it does look like a really, really soft goal. But it's one of them.
The funny thing is he touches it, though. He touches it, so he's not even shielding it for a goal kick. He's shielding it for a corner. Because he touches it and then he starts shielding it, and then Dujivne and Earl both put their hands up in the air, and then he kicks it in, obviously.
You don't know the dark arts like I do, Craig, because I'd 100% put that ball down on 6-yard line for a goal kick after I'd done that if I'd touched it.
Oh, obviously, but I mean, realistically, he touched it first, and then he was trying to shield it. So, hey, it's semantics in it. At the end of the day, it happened.
How many times? I wonder how many times a player on floor has had an assist.
It's not many, is it? The amount of times it happens in a game, it's not. It's not many times that someone recovers that to a point where then it results in a goal, because it just does look really, really soft, and it is a slight pain. Obviously, I think it's already been mentioned in terms of that first goal, but for me, Al, it's nice to see Cosgrove sort of in and around that area. It's almost like a poacher's goal, but not in a traditional sense of like tapping it in where it is. It's going in. I think it was you mentioned, Andy, of going in, attacking the ball, and following up from anything that happens in the box. It's nice to see. So I think sometimes we've been a little bit hesitant in that way of we've not scored too many goals from being around the box and poaching necessarily.
He did well there, didn't he? Pines were nearly on that one as well. Pines they were saying on commentary, I watched it this morning, were it Pines or were it Cosgrove? But no, it were Cosgrove. But Cosgrove, when he starts, every team has a go at him. It's a short fuse. We know he's got a short fuse. And if he can hold that in and players say, come on, because get it sorted. But he has got that, I can put it, fuse. And all teams, coaches play on that. And they played on that yesterday. They were in his face all the time. And we've seen it games when he has played that everybody, defenders, get in at him. But it didn't work yesterday. He scored a goal, and I thought he had a good game. Yeah, he had a good game. Devante, not the best of games yesterday, but he put himself about. But then again, Devante's not one to play against strong, solid defenders, is he?
I think Devante needs to start closing these goalkeepers down that just want to waste time, because he just walks off every time. And I'm like, he's just going to put the ball on the floor and you're going to have to run back. You know what I mean? Just stay close to him and make them kick it out of their hands. But anyhow, I think Cosgrove, being on the pitch more is helping him with his confidence. Being back on the pitch is he seems to be enjoying his football. Beginning of the season we're all about getting fit and everything, and he won't get enough time to really do that. But I think him and McAtee switching so often. I think every couple of games he keeps switching back and forth now. We're starting to see the result of that, of giving him the game time, the time to get his fitness finally back up to where it should be. I mean, he does a lot of closing down. For a big man, he does put himself about quite a bit. But he seems to be enjoying playing for Barnsley now, whereas before it were like, we wondered whether he'd be a real part of the team or just somebody that we called on when we had nobody else, So it's nice to see him as part of the team.
Yeah, definitely.
If you think poor Sam Cosgrove. He's like Neil Shipperley and Kiefer Moore before him. Somebody's got to take a pickaxe to him to get a free kick. They don't get free kicks given from even when there's blatant fouling. I don't know if the ref thinks he's a big, strong lad he should be able to deal with, but a foul's a foul. But let's not. I mean, we've talked about a few mistakes. Let's not forget we had 68% possession yesterday away from home. 15 shots. According to the stats I've got, 15 shots, 7 on target, and they've not lost at home for 9. They're not for 9 games, and now they have a double 2-1. They have
a double 2-1. Right.
So,
So speaking of a side who I've actually conceded for recently, and I think had very similar stats to the stat line you just have on the receiving end of the loss. So looking forward to Tuesday night in a massive game as Bolton Wanderers. So stats pack, not much has really changed, to be honest, since we last played Bolton so soon. So Everett still in charge, top scorer Dion Charles still with 16. One thing that has changed is the league position dropped down to 3rd from 2nd. Form very patchy at the minute. 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw in that. Key player Ricardo Santos, who got sent off against Blackpool. Formation 3-1-4-2. And yeah, I think Ricardo Santos's ban got reduced by 1 game.
Down got cleared, I think.
He got did it? I thought he got. Oh, I thought.
No, it's free, cleared. It got rescinded.
I have no idea how that happened.
I don't know how.
I don't understand how that happened because he literally went straight through the back of Carl Joseph.
Double jeopardy.
Well, hey, hang on a minute. You can't sit on one side of the fence and say you're a Barnsley fan on other, and then when Bolton's best player gets a ban rescinded, meaning that he has to play against us now from not, double jeopardy. No, it's fair.
He's not their best player.
Well, I've seen a lot of Bolton fans say he is best defender in league.
It's not. No.
Listen, me and Smith is going to be on Fan Zone podcast tomorrow night with a couple of lads from Bolton. I want them to tell me he's their best player, and I'll tell them he ain't. Get a grip, he ain't. Big
right, try and find out why all the fans sing "We Are the One and Only Wanderers" when they're not. Right, because that rate annoys me. I hear it, and I'm like, but you're not. There's Wolverhampton.
Craig, honestly, when you find out about the song that every club sings saying we're by far the greatest team the world's ever seen, that's going to really annoy you.
But they can be in your eyes. But in your eyes, you can't be the only Wanderers when there clearly is other teams. It's weird. It's a weird one. It really is.
That's what gets your goat on a Sunday morning.
No, just about Bolton. I mean, I love chants, but I just don't get that one. I just don't understand when it's not true.
You'll have to find out.
The best Wanderers.
There's so many things to kick off about.
He's not going to sing that song. I love to go wandering along the mountain track, is he?
No.
He's not going to do that,
I don't even know what it is, so I've got no chance of singing it.
There's lots of things to get rattled about, but 2-1 double club and Wanderers.
2-1 double club. No, I understand that one.
Yeah, he's fully in agreement with that.
Yeah, I'm in that one. Right, back to the
You're just
football.
Jealous. You're just all jealous.
Al, this one feels somewhat reminiscent of that Sheffield Wednesday game last season. Sort of the timing of it as well, and the position in which both teams are in at the time. We obviously needed to win. Wednesday needed to win, and it obviously culminated in a fantastic result for us. It feels there's obviously similar importance to this one as what there was last season for me.
It's a major game, isn't it, for me? Because we was all winning yesterday. I mean, they got a 2-0 win at home, didn't they, to Cambridge.
Mm-hmm.
And league table now is we've got a game in hand of them. 66 points to their 69. And now we are score yesterday and theirs. We've got a better goal difference. So if we win on Tuesday night, we go 3rd. There's no doubt about that because we've got bigger goal difference. So there's a lot to play for. And they've not got now, have they? They've not Gomez. They went off injured with a bad injury. So they're missing Gomez. And I think, is it Dion Clark? Is it their striker?
Dion Charles.
Dion Charles is probably, he could be fit. Whether he's fit enough to start, I don't know. But he's major for them, isn't he? And if he's not playing, I think we've got a good chance, and hopefully Cadden. I don't think McAtee will be back, but then Collins has got a problem. Does he leave O'Keefe in or fetch Cadden in? So it's going to be an interesting evening, interesting night, and I hope all Barnsley fans get in. And club's done a great thing that they've said free of charge. I think an under 15 or whatever, they can exchange it for a senior to go in free to get fans in. So brilliant, and we've got a new CEO at Oakwell as well, haven't we? It's been announced now that John Flatman has taken over from Khaled. So onwards and upwards in all areas of our football club.
Yeah, just on that with the John Flatman news, we'll cover that sort of at some point next week after the Bolton reaction, just when we've got a little bit more time to dedicate to it, and rather than squeeze it into here. Craig, obviously, I think when we last played Bolton, which wasn't too long ago, they got games in hand over us and also ascendancy in the league. Seems like it's been a very rocky time though for them. Obviously, losing to Wigan, losing to Blackpool, two rivals for them, and also the way in which they did lose to against Blackpool, shipping 4, and then the Wigan one where it seemed to sort of kick off a bit at the end of the game. It almost seems like the pressure and frustration really boiled over, especially in that Wigan game for Bolton. It seems like it could be a bit of a decent time to play them, realistically, I think.
Yeah, they're not in the best of form. I mean, since the end of January, they've been stop-start. They've been putting in a good performance, and then they've been getting beat, and then they've been drawing. And yeah, they seem to struggle against the Wigans and the Blackpools, and obviously Barnsley are up there as one of the best in the league as well. You know, tough team to come up against, especially on a Tuesday night. When we played them, I think we drew 1-1, but I think we were the better team on the day back at their place. I watched back the highlights, and yeah, I'd certainly agree with that. And I think they've lost a keeper as well, Nathan Baxter. They've got Joel Coleman in a minute, and I don't think the fan base are too happy with him. There seems to be a bit of, I mean, Ian Evitt coming out and saying that fans should stop having good players, etc., etc. So it's definitely not an happy camp over there. I don't think it's a must win. I do think though it's a must not lose. You know, I think they're going to drop more points this season. They've got to play some big teams. They've got likes of Peterborough. They've got Pompey to play. I mean, Oxford are coming up. Derby's coming up. So there's plenty of banana skins for them coming up. I think we've got the best running out of the top 4 as well. I think
on average league position, I think it is.
Yeah, on average league position, which is neither here nor there. But I've got to put out there their key man again, who I think we've got to absolutely nail down, and that's Josh Sheehan. Every time I see him play, he completely runs the game, just like Kirby did against Wycombe. He's slick on the ball. His passing is brilliant. So as long as we can keep him pinned down, and I think if you cast your mind back to the last game we played, we put them under pressure and pressed them from the start. They shook. They were shook. You know, it's only when we stopped pressing that they started getting a foothold in the game. So I think we just got to go hell for leather and go for them, because I think they're fragile at the minute. I think the fan base is, because we've come out of nowhere, and similar to Derby's situation. You know, we weren't even thought of a month ago, but now we're breathing down their necks, and they don't like it, and they seem to be cracking.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Craig's mentioned there, and is obviously if we can get in front and especially sort of assert ourselves, which we'd expect to do at home, although our home form's not been anywhere near as good as the away form, it feels like one of those games where if we can sort of get in front, really press them and get sort of their fans on their players' backs, it's going to make it extremely hostile for 11 on the pitch.
I think oh, absolutely. I think you'll find that that Bolton fans are quite nervous about this game, because we've had the magic eye over them lately, haven't we? I agree. what Craig's saying, that Josh Sheehan runs it. He runs their midfield. We stop him. We stop them. He's their best player for me. Stop him, and you stop Bolton. If I remember rightly, towards the end of the game when we played them at their ground, they got Kyle Dempsey on the right wing, who were really, really good. To get some good. He's a good player. He were only a sub yesterday, and let's hope he's only a sub again, because he's a good player. And of course, they brought Aaron Collins in as well now, who's a good player. Bragier, I mean, you can't put, at this minute over the season, you can't put a cigarette paper between us. 3 points behind the game in hand. We've scored 1 goal more than them, and we've conceded 1 more goal. 1 more goal than them. It's so close. Plus 24 for them, plus 25 for us. It's so close. I'll give you one stat that's interesting. If you talk about home and away, at home, us, we played 17 games at home, won 9, drawn 3, lost 5. Bolton, away from home, 17, won 9, drawn 3, lost 5. Exactly the same. Our home form is exactly the same as their away form. So, can't get a cigarette paper between us. It's going to be some night to talk well under the lights. And let's hope we come out on top. One of them things. Craig says it's not an absolute win, but we can't set up to not lose, because we'll lose. We set up to not lose, we'll lose. Cut out the mistakes, or cut out the, and get at them. They'll make mistakes. We talked about Josh Hill yesterday. Santos makes some mistakes and all. He's a big soft lad at back. He's not to worry about. Cos he'll sort him out.
Has he seen our Dominic?
I'm going to start calling. It's Smithy. I'm going to start.
You did it last show.
I know.
You're taking it in turns.
You can't blame me. You can't blame me all the time, Mr. Simcox.
Well, blame you when it's your fault. Donny Pines. I'm going to start calling him Donny, because I'll remember that. I'll start
Just call him Big Don.
What, MDG and Donny? MDG and Donny, that's the ones.
Donny. He'll sort him out. He's don't worry about it Tuesday night. Don't be another night at the office, another late night at the office. Don't worry about it. It'll be huff and puff, and they'll go back across Pennines, back to the dark satanic mills, all upset. Everton will burst a blood vessel, shouting at referee and everybody else, and it'll all get daft. He'll get sent off again, and then he'll get it rescinded again. I like you, Never. Don't get me wrong. I've said it before. I like you, Never. But you know what to expect from him. I like a bit of passion. Don't mind all that. I like a bit of passion.
It's all right when it comes out as passion, but when it spills into actual physical altercations like the end of the Wigan game, that's when you don't want to see it. I think they're struggling at the minute to hide their emotions because things are not going their way.
Well, Bolton fans against that game at Wigan, they were complaining that if they'd had that passion on pitch during 90 minutes and not at end, they'd have won. And that's what Bolton fans are finding, that there is passion there, but it's not showing it right way.
Yeah, it just needs to be channeled correctly.
There'll be a lot of passion on Tuesday night.
What you reckoning then for a prediction?
Interesting one, isn't it? I'm still going to be positive. I'm going to say we're going to go above them, and we're going to do an Andy special. 2-1.
Not a double. Not a double. Instead, Craig.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0. I think we'll have them at our place.
Interesting.
We'll have them.
Andy.
There's going to be this time. There's going to be no.
You're not doing a double, are you?
No, there's no 1 double club. 2-1 double club. It's just going to be the 2-1 club. Me and Smithy. Smith is the latest recruit to 2-1 club. It's going to be 2-1. It's nailed on 2-1.
I think Al's the biggest flip flop I've ever known. I'm not going to buy a shit. Nari owns all that. I'm not going to go to 2-1 club, and Nari's joining it. Well, I don't get it. Me.
I'm glad you've seen it. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's seen it, Craig.
Craig, it's the future.
Yeah.
I think I'll
I can
Hmm.
feel that fence rubbing.
No, it's not the fence rubbing. It's. I'm gonna
It's that
go.
Lancashire air having an effect, isn't it? Lancashire air's having an effect.
No, I'm gonna go 2-1, but I'm gonna go 2-1 to Bolton.
Oh,
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna 2-1 to Bolton.
You know they're into 1-2 club, don't you? You know you're on your own, don't you?
I'm just trying
1-2 club.
to see if
It's
a different
so
way.
member.
Also, I've got to think about myself as well. Living in Manchester, a couple of Bolton fans knocking about, so you've just got to appease the masses sometimes.
Oh, for goodness sake! You should be loud and proud. You should go out with-
Pampering to Lancastrians. How dare you?
Not
Sort it
pampering,
out.
What
just
would you
looking.
do? What would you have done if you'd have been War at Roses?
Ah,
Which side would you have been on?
I'd have moved
Andy,
down
I'm
to
asking
London.
for.
Oh, I don't want to upset Lancashire, Al. I don't want to upset him. Tell him, Al. I'm not
And it is
kidding.
on Tuesday night. It's War at Roses, and it's
I've just-
Tuesday.
Well, he'll come to the next home game with his Lancashire Reds flag.
You see, a lot of
Lancashire
people,
Tykes.
a lot of
That's
people
it.
think it's Barnsley against Bolton. It's not. It's God's own country against the dark satanic mills, and we know we'll come out on top.
I've just done. I'm been a bit different, you know. You're all predicting wins, and we'll see. We'll see if
Yes, if you
on
think they're
Tuesday.
going to win 2-1, that's fine, Josh. But it's
Now-
fact
now
that
all
you're
I'll
a
say is-
chicken.
Check the time.
I don't want to upset them. They might pick on me if I don't say 2-1 to them. That's
If we
chicken.
do lose, on your head be it.
Yeah,
Can I
we'll
also
see.
say, I know we've got to finish. Can I also say very quickly, there's no instant reaction show on Tuesday night through technical reasons. I.e., Tom Webster won't be there with the equipment, so the reaction will be on the Wednesday show.
Yes, we'll be back on Wednesday with the Bolton reaction and preview to Saturday's game. We'll see you later, you Reds.